This week on the Bachelor in Paradise finale.
What's it like to stare into the eye of Satan's butthole?
She's changed, Ron. She's a different person.
Greg and I are together.
You did not cheat on Johnny with Greg.
Absolutely not.
Wait. She's here, isn't she?
Hi, Ron.
Let's get this over with.
Everyone can hate us if they want. I don't give two.
We did it! We made it through 16 episodes of Bachelor in Paradise, and our payoff was one of the most wild, dramatic, and jaw-dropping episodes in Paradise history. All thanks to the shenanigans of one woman. And with this being the end of the season, it's now time to continue the tradition of giving back, with our charity this season being the Colorado Healing Fund, an organization created to help fund medical and funeral expenses for victims and families affected by the recent tragedy at the Club Q nightclub in Colorado. I'm gonna donate $500 to start things off. I'd really love if you'd help me double that. But before we get to the engagements and the much anticipated after the final rose, we've still got one last rose ceremony to get to before it's decision day, which means there's not a lot of time left, and as Jesse Palmer puts it,
Paradise is coming to an end a lot faster than I think a lot of you realize. And I think you really need to think about the current state of all your relationships.
So with that said,
Tonight, there will be no cocktail party.
thanks, Jesse. It sure is important you have time to think, but F you, we're canceling the cocktail party. So with Mara then piecing out early cause she's not in a couple, this rose ceremony starts off rather undramatic, and oh, never mind, Aaron and Genevieve are fighting again.
What are you doing?
Very annoyed. You're not gonna help me down the stairs? And you're gonna walk 5 feet in front of me? Yeah, so weird.
Okay, I look away for 3 seconds and they're at it again. At this point, these two are so on and off, I'm just sitting here watching them bicker again like,
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
but apart from that, it's a rather standard rose ceremony with Michael giving his rose to Danielle, Brandon giving his to Serene, Johnny's to Victoria, Tyler's to Brittany, Aaron gives a heartfelt speech to Genevieve, which means they're on again.
Right from the start, I've never wavered in thinking that we can have something special. You've continued to impress me with your ability to persevere, and I'm not always the easiest guy to work with too, so.
Then it's twin Justin giving his rose to Flo and twin Joey giving his to Shanae, which finally leaves Logan and Kate. However, when Logan asks Kate if she'll accept his rose, instead of accepting it, Kate has another message for her guy.
You also told me that I was critical, looked down on you, not warm enough, and stimulated by the drama, when in reality, those are projections that I feel from you.
Wow, how dare you? How dare you make me like Logan? So Kate leaves in what I assume was supposed to be a girl boss moment, but really it just left me feeling bad for Logan. Cause the truth is, Kate was critical and she absolutely looked down on Logan. Check out my last video for the receipts on that. And I already know what people are gonna say, it's the same thing resonated in Kate's Twitter post, not everything was shown and this is a highly edited show. Which, okay, is partially true, like this comment at the end, which was obviously edited in to make her look even worse.
Please, God, bring me a grown-ass man with a big and a bigger bank account.
But the comments on Logan being poor or a child were not edited, and ultimately it comes down to this. Wanting a partner who's established or has money is fine. That's your choice. However, stringing along someone you obviously have disdain for isn't. And if that Gabby and Rachel conversation was truly the final straw for Kate, things should have ended right then and there, not in some prepared speech in front of everyone after Logan just finished saying he still believed in you two. But alright, there's more to get to with this in the after the final rose, so I'm gonna start holding some of my commentary till then. And let's not forget there are a lot more breakups ahead, as with a new day comes decision time, the moment at the end of Paradise where couples must decide if they want to head to a fantasy suite and a potential engagement, or head home either as a couple or alone. For Brandon and Serene, it's a no-brainer, they're going the distance. Same goes for Johnny and Victoria. Brittany and Tyler decide to leave together as a couple, something Brittany said she would only do if Tyler told her he loved her, which, at the 11th hour, he does.
The night at the Sadie Hawkins dance, when we were passing the ball back and forth together, you punted it over. I loved you right then and there.
Then there's Michael and Danielle, who both agree they're not ready to talk engagement, but that they are ready to go home together and have her meet Michael's son, James. And in the end, after a sweet conversation, Michael tells Danielle that if his wife could see this moment,
she would love you. She'd be happy it was you.
It's a touching moment.
So these two head for the exits and officially leave Paradise as a couple, and in this moment, only one thing was on my mind. Someone needs to tell them to put on their seatbelts.
I'm like really excited to get this going.
We're gonna have fun tonight.
Oh, I know.
Are we, do you think? Do you think we're gonna have sex tonight?
Hell yeah.
But alright, with all that sappy stuff out of the way, it's time for the disasters. Starting with the twins, who, surprise surprise, won't be getting engaged at the end of this.
I just feel like I'm like your fun, cool and like not your girlfriend. I'm not looking for someone that just like continues like to be social media freak, TikToks all over the place. Like,
yeah, so this is it for twin, Justin, I think? Shanae wants a man, not someone who's on TikTok all the time.
You're saying I'm not a man?
I'm not saying you're not, but I don't want someone at their house making TikToks and dancing and like.
I don't do that, though. This is almost like disrespectful right now.
Meanwhile, on Shanae's TikTok page, she's doing this.
At the end of the day, I'm looking for a husband. Not a TikTok boyfriend. He does TikToks. Like, a lot.
Okay, but the funniest part of all this is that at the time of this airing, Shanae's TikTok account has more videos up than the twins does. But that's one twin down. I wonder how the other one's doing.
So at the moment, I think we shouldn't pursue things outside of Paradise.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that just might be the single greatest breakup I've ever witnessed. So that's two twins down, and honestly, for all the flack they've gotten all season for being so young, I gotta say these two have handled their relationships more maturely than half the people on the beach.
I'm not a man. If a man is defined by being family-oriented, treating the girl with respect, dude, she doesn't accept that. That shows you're more of a man than she could ever be.
Meanwhile, Shanae at home,
I am no man.
and finally, we have our last disaster from a couple that's, well, been a disaster all season. As Erin gathers Genevieve to tell her, you know what, on second thought, James is waiting for me back home and I'd rather head back there alone. And what makes this breakup so weird is, first off, how casual he starts the conversation.
I did fall in love with it, you know, and I fell in love with you, and that's a fact, you know. We've gone through some ups and downs, as you know.
Then it switches to Aaron saying he can't continue outside of Paradise because Jen runs too much. Which had me like, he's not going to even try? Like, he said he's fallen in love with her and he's not even going to make an attempt? Eventually, Aaron officially ends it and follows that up with,
I always will cherish this time with you. It was beautiful getting to know you. I think you're a great girl, and I think, you know, at the end of the day, you are a great friend. I wish you the very best. You look beautiful today.
oh, that is weird. But again, I'm gonna hold my comments on this because there is a lot of new context to add from the After the Final Rose that you're definitely going to want to hear. So Aaron heads out, and I swear to you, when he opened that car door, I half expected to see James sitting there waiting for him. And then, for real this time, Genevieve heads out of Paradise with her bags, and it's here where I've never agreed with her more.
It makes my brain itch. It does. Doesn't pain me, but it makes my brain itch. I just wasted my time on a child. And that's big facts.
But alright, with that, we now just have two couples left. Brandon and Serene, and Johnny and Victoria, who now get to celebrate and enjoy a very empty beach like it's the last day of Survivor before moving on to their fantasy suites and blah 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 blah. I just want to get to the engagements and the after the final rose, cause boy do I need answers from a lot of people. And almost as if production could hear my pleas, they wasted no time in this second episode getting to the good stuff. And I mean really, they get right into the AFR, and it's not till the end of the episode that we even get to see the engagements. Cause they know what we're really tuning in for: updates. Like Romeo and Kira are here after she kidnapped him from the beach.
We're very happy. So Romeo, I'll give you the final word here, man. Blink twice if you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Blink twice.
There we go. I think that was 2 blinks.
We then get to see a wild rekindling of the relationship between Tarzan and Jill.
I am open as well.
And then we get to the Logan of it all. And this man is really having to dodge attacks left and right this season, as before we can even get to the Kate stuff, Shanae claims that Logan dated Kate just to get back at her, stating that he told Shanae at the first or second rose ceremony to keep her options open.
First or second rose ceremony, you remind me to keep my options open during the rose ceremony. And I was like, well, that's weird.
Alright, the timeline is a bit weird on that one, considering Kate didn't show up until after there had already been 2 rose ceremonies, but I'll assume that was just a slip-up. Logan, however, is very happy to clear things up, as he says that she must have misunderstood what he meant.
It's possible to be happy and confident and, like, really care about someone and also say, I want you to know that I'm not going to chain you down and be controlling of you.
And Logan says he struggled even accepting the date with Kate, but when he asked others for their advice, they said Shanae wouldn't hesitate to go if it was her, so he went.
And obviously my attempt to be understanding fell short.
Does that change your mind at all, hearing his explanation?
No, I don't. No.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Shanae, do you ever plan to apologize to Elizabeth for making fun of her ADHD?
No, I don't. No.
Moving on. Now after that, we finally get to talk to Kate, who has now seen the footage of how she talked about Logan, calling it out of pocket and saying that she hated that Logan had to hear it.
When I was vocalizing those concerns, it was to my girlfriends in private, something that I never ever wanted you to hear. Because, like, I'm for
There's
real.
kind of cameras everywhere.
I mean, yeah, if you say something on the show, you should expect to be saying it as if the person were in the room, because anything can make it on air. Still, Kate calls those comments symbolic of something deeper.
Which was that you weren't ready for the type of serious partnership that I'm looking for.
Now here, Logan says, you know, I came to California with nothing but my car. I walked dogs, I was a scuba instructor, I did what I could to get by.
I tell that to Kate, and she made fun of me for it. She tried to humiliate me for it in front of her friends, you know, and everyone cackles. Yeah, it showed a lot. I wish you did say it to me. It would have cleared a lot of things up.
What on earth is going on? Logan is coming off amazing here. Life really comes at you fast. Now, remember that statement from Kate earlier? Well, after all this, on the second night of the finale, she updated it with an apology. Okay, but next up on the apology tour is Eliza, who here says that she wished everything would have gone differently, and ultimately, she thinks it should have been Rodney the whole time.
Do you still have feelings for Rodney?
Of course. I never stopped having feelings for you. And I think I made a mistake.
Now this confuses Justin, who didn't actually get to speak here but voiced his opinion on Twitter saying, I was told a mistake was made in Baltimore just to hear that that same mistake wasn't a mistake at the reunion. This is why I was skeptical. But as for Rodney, he says that Eliza's actions hurt him and he's finally moved on from what happened, so there's no chance of a rekindling. A move that I think is for the best. And speaking of relationships that are better off not together, it's Aaron and Genevieve's turn for the first hot seat segment of the night, which, if the edit from the episode is to be believed, ends quite amicably, with Genevieve and Aaron both remarking that they played equal parts in the downfall of their relationship.
I want to be like a kind, generous, understanding man, and I want to be that for you. And like, looking back, I realized I wasn't any of those things. So like, for me, it couldn't have been more of a failure.
However, once again, Twitter adds some new information with this cryptic tweet from Genevieve saying, "To everyone wondering why I didn't bring up the two girls back home, I didn't know about it until after we taped the reunion." Something that had me like, you have no one to put on blast. Well, rumor is, Aaron had been dating not one, but two women all the way from January to May of 2022, right up until the filming of Paradise, and then, immediately upon returning back from the show, started to date one of those same women, which, if true, might explain Aaron's sudden and rather odd breakup from Decision Day. But oh, the drama train is far from over, as now it's Tyler's turn to come out for a hot seat segment, and when he does so without Brittany.
Obviously, you walked out here alone. Why is that?
Well, it's clear that we're not together. Unfortunately, yeah.
Now, Tyler says at first everything was great. She came to New Jersey, he went to Chicago and met her family. And after all the mess of Rachel's season, things were looking great.
But right after that, she said, I just want to get away for a little bit, go to London, then I'm going to go to Italy. And she FaceTimed me from Italy and said to me that she just felt like we were two different people living two different lives.
So Brittany went to Italy, FaceTimed him, and broke things off. Oh, and it just so happened to also be the same day that his hometown breakup with Rachel was airing.
And that was the day that I get dumped by Rachel on national television. So...
Now, of course, they then bring out Brittany, who explains, from her perspective, why things didn't work out.
I don't know. I just feel like I slowly kind of just didn't feel the same way. I don't know. I didn't want to waste my time and energy, and I really didn't want to waste yours on something I didn't feel 100% confident in.
Now, Brittany does come off looking a bit defensive here, as Tyler says she kept telling him she was in love with him and should have communicated her feelings if she was feeling their relationship was slipping away. But we once again have to take to Twitter to hear more on this, as Brittany says the reason she came off this way was because she was frustrated for being blindsided. According to her, the two had ended things mutually, and this all came out of nowhere. But I don't know, looking back at Tyler's Instagram post from that day when Rachel's breakup aired saying, "I respect the way things ended because you didn't string me along," I'm not so sure if things were as mutual as Brittany thought. So that's one of our main couples who left Paradise together, now broken up. But as for Michael and Danielle, these two are still together, with Danielle saying she's moving to Akron to be closer to Michael and James, who she's now met many times. Here, Michael also addresses Sierra, apologizing for not giving her the type of love that she was giving him.
It's like a lot of different thoughts in my brain right now. At the end of the day, I want you to be happy, and I want you to find a perfect person for you.
Yeah.
And that's what matters, and that's important.
I really feel like Sierra actually said more here, but it was cut out. Ultimately, though, the only big revelation with these two is that Michael hasn't said "I love you" yet, until now.
You know, I've only said I love you to one person in my entire life, but I love you.
Well, at this point, it's finally time to head back to the beach with Johnny and Victoria. And while the prospect of an engagement is normally the big draw for a finale, the latest rumors and Jesse's words here make things all the more interesting.
Bachelor Nation has been buzzing in recent weeks about Johnny and Victoria and Greg Grippo from Katie's season.
Yup, there are rumors going around that Victoria F is dating Greg from Katie's season, which makes it so awkward to see exchanges like this one after Victoria and Johnny's fantasy suite.
Love you.
Bye.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Stop it.
I love you.
I'm gonna change my mind.
Or this one with Johnny explaining his fear of being left alone.
Every relationship I've ever been in has ended in some kind of way, they've left, or I wasn't good enough, or they bounced on me.
Or this moment where Johnny gets down on one knee.
Victoria Fuller, will you make me the happiest man? Will you marry me?
Meanwhile, Greg is watching this backstage in the most awkward way possible.
I was not expecting that.
Now, Jesse then fills us in on what's been happening online over the last few weeks, as speculation has swirled about Victoria being in a relationship with Greg Grippo. So Johnny is brought out first to give us the main update.
So as of right now, me and Victoria are not engaged anymore.
You guys have broken up?
Yeah, we broke.
And boy, are things about to get wild. So of course they then bring out Victoria, who is asked what went wrong, and responds with,
You know, that's the $1,000,000 question. I think that, Hi, by the way. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Lord help me, this is why I watch this show. Now, Victoria says things got rough after Paradise. They fought a lot, and Johnny called her names.
But what is the appropriate amount of time to move on when you called me a
FYI, the first bleeped out word starts with an F, and the second one starts with a C.
Not only that, you said you don't cook, you don't clean. What do you provide to a relationship as a woman?
Victoria.
Now, of course, if Johnny said all that, it's absolutely horrible. But he claims that what Victoria is saying is not true. He never called her that word, and she's being manipulative right now because she knows very well that the context of the don't cook comment was a clear joke.
When we're joking around about cooking and cleaning, and you say, hey, just so you know, I'm never gonna cook and clean. And I joke around like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like
That's not what happened, Johnny.
There's also apparently more information here that wasn't shown, like it coming out that Victoria was violent and threw a wine glass at Johnny and told him that she was out of his league. But still, the ultimate question becomes, is Victoria actually with Greg?
Are you dating Greg Grippo right now?
Yes. Greg and I are together.
You know what? All season we've been saying the Victoria from Peter season was long gone, but then this after the final rose happens, and suddenly I'm looking at Victoria like...
Oh, there you are, Peter.
Now at this point, Johnny leaves to go vent with his bro Tyler, and it's time for Greg himself to join Victoria on the couch. And Victoria reiterates that she never cheated on Johnny with Greg, that they got together after things had ended. But Greg really doesn't help her case on this one when he comes out saying,
we've been friends for a while. We met last year through mutual friends. Through the weeks after Paradise, we ended up just rekindling.
Wait, weeks? Weeks after her engagement? Alright, I'm no mathematician, but the math ain't mathin' on that one.
We're at this moment where we're really interested in one another, and I was like, I want to take you out for a drink. I was like, so you want to go to like Rome in 2 days?
Want to meet me for a drink in Rome?
Swear.
Okay, another trip to Italy that ends in disaster?
Why is it when something happens, it is always you three?
Obviously, we couldn't go and get a drink in New York City or Nashville. And so we were like, okay, we'll go to Europe and maybe test it out, see how, we fit.
Alright, now that's too much. Want to go out for our first drink together in Rome? I was sitting here like...
Was that supposed to be for our benefit? Do you think we're idiots?
So you're telling me there was no emotional cheating even though you've known each other for over a year, were talking and have been friends for a while, including before and after Paradise, then just weeks after Victoria got engaged, you two went out for a first drink together in Rome, and they went and got the tackiest matching tattoos I've ever seen?
Screw it, right? It says ciao. It's in Italian for hi.
I am both wildly horrified and deeply giddy with the level of cringe I'm seeing right now. Even the entire cast is out here mystified.
Everyone can hate us if they want. I don't give because I got this.
Oh, there you are, Peter.
But wow, there you have it. It kind of feels like things should have ended right there, but nope. There is still one last relationship to get to. Brandon and Serene still haven't gotten engaged yet, cause, come on, you know where this is going. So these two have their fantasy suite and enjoy their morning after.
Have you ever put syrup on bacon?
That's not syrup, that's espresso.
Alright, Brandon is like the corn kid. He looks young, he acts young, and everything he does is corny.
Cone.
But even so, one thing is undeniable, he's head over heels for Serene. So of course, when it comes to their final rose ceremony, he pops the question,
Serene Russell, will you make me the happiest man to walk this earth? Will you marry me?
Serene says yes, and Jesse Palmer comes in for one last surprise.
Brandon, Serene, do you want to get married right here, right now?
Well, back in the studio, Serena and Brandon let us know that they are still together and as happy as ever, but no, they didn't get married. And is it me, or did Serena and Victoria plan a good and evil sort of outfit thing for this tell-all? Fits a little too well. But that's it. The season is over. And boy, was this a wild finale that gave us a much-needed payoff after a long and, at times, exhausting season. So enjoy your 2-month break, everyone, and rest up, because it all begins again January 23rd for Zach's season of The Bachelor. So that's it for this finale recap of Bachelor in Paradise. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, consider donating to the Colorado Healing Fund, giving the video a like, and subscribing for more, as there's always new content on the way. And until next time, Bachelor Fantake out.
Everyone can hate us if they want. I don't give because I got this.
Oh, there you are, Peter.